Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Asfar bin Muhammad Zaki. My metric number is 1191399. So, my research topic is about the understanding of Islamic teachings about environmental care among residents in Taman Putri KULAI Phase 6. So, today I will explain about my research paper. The first thing in this chapter is research background. This study focus on the perception of the resident in Taman Putri KULAI Phase 6 on the teaching of Islam on environmental care. Next is about scope of the study. This research was focused about the environment and its perspective from Islamic teaching among residents in Taman Putri KULAI Phase 6 Johor. Besides, this research also aimed to know the residents' point of view on environmental care through an Islamic approach. The last topic for this chapter is significance of the study. The importance of the research is that will highlight the Islamic approach to environmental conservation. It will inform Muslims in general and youngsters in particular in resident area and society in general on their consequences on Muslim by referencing reference from the Quran and Sunnah. It will also serve as a reminder to Muslims of the significance of environmental stewardship. Next is problem statement. The first one is frequent natural disaster. Malaysia is a country that is free from natural disaster such as earthquakes, volcanic eruption and even hurricanes. However, Malaysia is also not immune from other natural disasters such as floods, landslides, and even drought. As we know, recently our country has shocked by the floods in the state of Selangor, which is rarely affected by floods. The frequency of floods that occur in Malaysia is no longer due to weather factors, but as a result of human hands that dispose of our rain catchment areas, namely the forest. The second one is extinction of flora and fauna. Malaysia is a country which is varies with flora and fauna, but the longer they live, the smaller their population. Natural factors can lead a species to become endangered. Nevertheless, when it comes to species extinction, human activity is the most prevalent contributor. Increased urbanization and overconsumption have resulted in decrease in natural habitats and wildlife. They eventually causes species to become endangered. The question of this study are as follows. The first one, what are the concept environmental care from Islamic perspective? The second one, what are student opinion on environmental care from Islamic perspective? And the last one is, what is the relationship between the teaching of Islam and the environment? And based on the question of the study, the objective studied are as follows. To describe the concept of environmental care from Islamic perspective, to find out student opinion on environmental care from Islamic perspective, and to explain about the relationship between the teaching of Islam and the environment. Next, we move to the chapter 2, concept of environmental care from Islamic views. According to Islamic perspective, Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala creates and owns the environment. Allah mentioned in the Quran, Surah Al-Hajj, verse 64, to Him belong all that is in the heavens and all that is on the earth. And verily Allah, He is rich, free for all wants, worthy of all praise. Islamic position on environment can be found in the Holy Quran, the Hadith saying of Prophet Muhammad, Sirah, well-documented life of Prophet Muhammad and the life of his companions. Environmental protection is vital to Islamic teaching, and humanity bears the obligation for ensuring the safe custody of the environment. The right to utilize natural resources was granted to human on a guardianship basis, which entails the right to use another person's property on the condition that it not be damaged or destroyed. Next, Islamic principle of environmental care. There are few important that we should know. Among those are Al-Adl, that means justice. Mizan means balance. Amanah, responsibility. And the last one is Hikmah or wisdom. The first principle is Adl. Adl or justice indicates that things are returned to their rightful position. It also entails providing everyone with an adequate quantity of their lawful belonging. It also entails treating others fairly. The principle of Adl emphasizes on maintaining relations with human and other creations, including environment, on the basis of justice as commanded by Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala. Second principle is Mizan. The Arabic term of balance is Al-Mizan, and it refers to both the known measuring tool and the metaphorical pursuit of fairness and harmony in all human endeavors. The notion of balance attracts the attention that moderation is essential to preserve the equilibrium in nature. Violation of nature equilibrium have devastating effects. Nature suffers from a serious imbalance as a result of environmental devastation. Next is Amanah. God created man to be his Khalifa or vicegerent on earth. Such power comes with a lot of responsibility. Humans are responsible for safeguarding the oneness of all God's creation, the integrity of the world, its flora and fauna, animals, and natural environment. The last principle is ilm. The concept of ilm means knowledge, which can be philosophical, scientific, or theological, should apply in such a manner that it benefits everyone in the society. Without a doubt, knowledge is required for the appropriate judgments to be made so that the future consequence of today's action can be minimized. Next, chapter 3 is about research methodology. This research about the understanding of Islamic teachings about environmental care among residents in Taman Putri KULAI, Phase 6, Johor. This is a qualitative study that began with library research. The researcher conducted library research in order to examine and gather relevant literature from previous investigation. The following approach in qualitative research is a resident interview. In this study, the researcher will conduct interviews with a variety of persons who can offer information about the study's topic. For the sampling, the target group of the study is students living in housing Taman Putri KULAI, Phase 6 Johor. This study requires a specific student to collect data and respond to interview questions. This resident area has around 5 students. This study will take place at Taman Putri KULAI, Phase 6 Johor. The sample consisted of 5 pupils that living in housing Taman Putri KULAI. Next is data analysis. To analyze the data collected during the interview session, the following method was used. Information recorded over the phone was transferred to the laptop for greater clarity and to facilitate data entry. The data was recorded by the researcher and rewritten onto a piece of paper. Important information was highlighted, information was analyzed and grouped by point, and finally the data was summarized. Here I will show some of the respondents who participate in this research and a little from the recording of the interview.
Holistic spiritual view towards mankind, earth and cosmos. Thank you.
For the last chapter is conclusion. The paper has studied in the question of environmental care in Islamic perspective. The significance of the issue in Islam is to act responsibly and in harmony with nature. Since we should be held accountable for how we handle our ecosystem and environment. The majority of the students who were interviewed responded well to this issue. The understanding of environmental protection in the Islamic view is very broad and deep. So that's all from me. Assalamualaikum and thank you.